You, the stalwarts who have stayed to the very end. Bless you all. I think those of you who've attended the panels and the talks today feel that you've been richly fed. I would like to echo Leslie on 2 points. One is that there's a couple of entities without which this conference would never have happened. One is the Compton Foundation that supplied the money for it, and I'd like to give them a hand. Thank you so much. And the second is Leslie rightly pointed out that I had an amazing crew that worked on this conference with me. First and foremost, Megan Lamberth in the back, but also Ashley Lovell, our ambassadors, our Bush School ambassadors who've been shepherding you around. And so let's just give them one more hand, shall we? I feel just so energized. Who would have thunk that here in Texas we would find this little node of women, peace, and security? The amazing women that we heard from on the panels on Texas NGOs, the scholars, the students we've heard from, the policymakers like Ambassador Russell and Representative Granger. I mean, this is just extraordinary. I'm just totally delighted. I'd like to just reflect on a couple of themes, that I saw coming out from this conference. One is the connections that I saw being made. For example, I saw Kathleen O'Reilly and Sarah Evans exchange business cards, right? And I saw a group who all realized that they were based in Dallas and decided that they were determined to meet up afterwards. I saw Dr. Ibrahimi in consultation with my dean talking about possible collaborations in the future with the Bush School. So the kinds of connections that we've made here today, I think, are just fabulous. The themes that I saw, number one, I think the first thing that I saw is, by golly, we're in it for the long haul, aren't we? I don't think we're probably ever going to be able to declare victory, at least not in our lifetime. I heard Bianca Jackson tell us that the Genesis Women's Shelter has been around for 35 years and are now servicing more women and children than ever. All right, so these are battles that must continue to be fought, and some of them are getting worse and not better. And I think that leads to, another theme that I saw echoed throughout all of the panels is that family dynamics are actually an appropriate subtopic for women, peace, and security. I mean, while we might think about peace negotiations and civil wars and recruitment into terrorist groups, yeah, that's important, and we're going to look at that. We're going to look at the linkages to women. But I think it's the things that we don't remark upon, right? The levels of domestic violence, all right, within the home, levels of coercion and differential access to assets within the household. The fact that you can have a rich man and a poor woman who are living under the same roof. All right? These are the things that we don't ever remark upon, all right, but that are critical if we're going to change anything at those larger levels. Another theme I saw is, by golly, we need men. And I am so grateful to the men who have come and spent their time today with us. 3 in particular, of course, my own Dean Welsh, but also Jacob Allen of Mary's Meals, which is just an incredible organization, as well as Representative Flores, who came as well. And then I think Ambassador Russell and Representative Granger taught us that we need women in the right place with the right authority. We need women in positions of decision-making power who can commit resources, who can pass legislation. And I'm so grateful to both of those women for doing that. And then, of course, because I'm an academic, the last theme I'd like to point out is that we need to continue to make the empirical case. We need research. We need data. We need to make sure that the skeptics among us understand that this is not some sort of politically correct fluff that we're talking about, but is backed by hard facts and the type of rigorous analysis that we would expect in policy analysis. Now, I leave this meeting hopeful, all right? First of all, I'm hopeful because of all of the young faces I saw in the audience today, all of our students. Those of us who are older than you, you know, we know that our time is not long here, all right? I'm not talking about just going to the reception, but, you know, I am facing my 60th birthday, and I realize that my years of being able to make a difference are numbered. And I know that unless we are able to pass the baton to a new generation, that these fights will not be as well fought. We can give you swords. We can give you shields. We can give you tools that you can use in this fight. And we're so grateful that you're here and willing to listen and willing to learn so that you can move on. I do think there's new conversations starting. You know, the ferment that I see here in my own country about these issues, things that were considered totally unremarkable, are now getting people fired. That's absolutely amazing. I never thought to see that in my lifetime. But probably the thing that I'm most hopeful about is when I listen to the panel on the women of Afghanistan. I mean, we think we have it hard here in the United States. Well, the women of Afghanistan have it 1,000 times harder than we do. Did you see their determination? Did you see their willingness to get up every morning and fight the same battles again? Because if you don't get up and fight the next day, it could all be lost that day. Women are willing to work in a downpour, even when things look their grimmest, even when the forces of retrogression are arrayed against them. Women continue to work and to fight. And it's that tenacity and that's their determination to have a better world for their children that is the hope of our planet, along with their male allies. And so I'd like to close this out and say, let's follow Rena Menard's injunction. She said, hey, I'll be the first. I'll do it. Let's say that. Let's have that be our personal motto. If no one else is doing it, you be the first. You go do it. And wait and see what happens. I bet you'll be pleasantly surprised.